Hello, hello. Welcome to another week. Here we are, and I'm excited to talk with you today about this energy we have for the coming week. This video will be covering energy from today, April 8th, through the 14th. And wow. I am curious to hear how your week was last week. I know I talked a little bit about the energy shifting collectively and going into themes of awakening. And it would be interesting to hear kind of what came up for you last week. Now, for the week ahead, a lot of things are progressing. I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of excited about this. We've had Mercury in retrograde and Venus in retrograde, and these energies are now moving forward. And then we have also the full moon coming up on the 12th. And so, yeah, I'm excited to talk a little bit about that and go into galactic channeling. So, if this is your first time here, I do these weekly energy updates where I channel galactic information, and sometimes I'll even talk about it from a perspective of astrology or human design. If you've not seen me before and this is your first time to my channel, hello, welcome. So glad you found me. I am a certified galactic astrologer, and I'm also certified in human design. I'm an Akashic Records reader. And so that's a little bit about me. Now let's jump in. Okay, so I'm just kind of feeling in briefly to this energy as coming from like an astrology and human design perspective. Once again, when I do these videos, I've mentioned before in the past that sometimes my guides really prompt me to dive in deeply to, the energies from this perspective. I didn't get much of a hit on that this week. So I feel like it's another week when the channeled information is going to be what's predominant. But lightly speaking on this, we can look at the yesterday Mercury coming out of retrograde, Venus coming out of retrograde. Generally speaking, when planets begin to move forward, this notates a time in which we may start to feel like there's progress forward motion as it relates to, our life and what we're experiencing. So with both of these coming out of retrograde, I suspect that, we'll be moving forward, especially with Venus retrograde and Venus having interest in kind of what it is that we're drawn to, our desires, passion, love, relationships can come up and be significant. Also, anything creative, what you do for fun, how you express yourself, art and music, all of these things. So, I'm hoping this forward motion is going to feel a little liberating and allowing us to really kind of fully come into and move forward in the things we've been working on since this retrograde season. And also, we have on the 12th coming up the Libra full moon. Now, I want to talk about this briefly from a perspective of human design, as at the time of this occurring, the energy where the sun will be located, meaning collectively, we will all be feeling the energy of human design gate number 42. If you've not heard of this, don't worry about it. All I want you to know is this carries a theme of having us look at reflection on how we are actually moving forward. This is an energy in which, on the shadow side of this, you can either feel like you're afraid to leave a cycle behind. You cling to an old cycle or an old way of doing things, what feels familiar. The other expression on the shadow side of this could be either, due to an imbalance, you kind of jump through things, rush through things, and don't feel balanced or stable in this energy. energy. And so when we're looking at the sun in Aries being in this location, we can look at it as, Aries is the pioneer, the go-getter, the starter, but also Aries can be impulsive and not sometimes make spontaneous, impulsive decisions that, depending on where you're at, could feel misaligned. And with Libra energy, Libra is connected to balance. So this energy, I feel like, is just really highlighting that it is time to move forward. We collectively are in a position in which whatever it is you're going through in your life right now, there's some significance to this and the opportunity for growth. However, growth happens through either being willing to let go, or maybe you have difficulty in staying or committing or thinking, or planning or processing. And maybe it's, Libra is inviting you to intuitively tune in to what this feels like and how you can balance these energies. So that was kind of my little 2 cents on that. So I'm going to go ahead now and start connecting in to see what wants to come through for this week. As mentioned, I am an Akashic Records reader and a galactic channeler. I channel lots of different galactic beings, especially in my clients' work. As a channeler, my strongest gift is clairaudient, which I've talked about. So I just kind of speak as it comes. And I've mentioned that I have been privately doing more practice in trance channeling, which has been a really exciting adventure. That said, I'm noticing more and more the energy coming through where I'm being spoken through. So that kind of came up a little bit last week when I did this video. All right, so I invite you to just take a moment, close your eyes with me. I'm going to close my eyes and ground. It's been a few days. It's been a little wild. So I invite you to just kind of take a breath, close your eyes if you're in a position you can. If you're not, that's fine. Just maybe take a deep breath in and let it all out. Just kind of give your body a gentle hug with a good breath. And I'm going to tune in to whatever wants to come through this week. I'm feeling a lot of warmth right now. If you've had a couple weeks that have just been, I just invite you to rest into this frequency right now. Take an extra breath. I'm feeling Arcturian energy coming, and it feels so nurturing and soothing. I'm hearing you have done so well. You have gone far. Celebrate your steps. Celebrate your progress. When you look at the vastness of where you're moving and traveling, it can be easy to miss the progress that you're making. Celebrate each step, no matter how big, how small. Collectively, we're really moving. We're really plugging along, and there's a lot. There is a lot. I firmly believe that we are coming into an expression that we've never experienced before. We've never been before. We're activating aspects of ourselves we've never tapped into before. This is I'm just tuning in. I'm hearing this is a monumental time for your people. And while, yes, that sounds like a tall order, it is indeed a big shift. And this is just the beginning. Be sure to nurture and hold yourself. Be sure to celebrate how far you've come. There's been a lot, I feel like, of direct information that's come through the last couple weeks with channeling. And I just feel like this Arcturian energy right now is really holding support for the journey and understanding that in you if you're taking a hike, or if you're go completing a marathon, you got to pause, you got to drink your water, hydrate, and hold yourself. And so I feel like this energy is coming through today, just as I'm hearing a peace, like just I'm hearing peace offering, but it's not in that exact sense. It's like sharing this energy of peace. I'm just feeling into the frequency. I feel like the topic of connections is coming through. I'm just feeling into what it is they're saying or showing me. I feel like you're going to be fine. I feel like we're going to be finding ourselves in moments in which there is an increasing amount of contrasts through relationships, whether this be friendships, intimate relationships, partnerships. There is a lot of frequency coming up right now in which you may find yourself feeling like you have moments where you're like, gosh, what happened? Like all of a sudden, everything just feels off. Everything just feels different. Everything feels just like it's just not quite fitting the way it did. And what I'm hearing is that this is natural. This is a normal unfolding, and it's necessary. That as frequencies are shifting and so much change is taking place right now, so much change is taking place. Each person is really either last week, I know that the energy that came through talked about quantum leaps. Like they said that the exception will become the majority, meaning that those that are coming into separating from the hierarchical type setup and are stepping more into learning to tune into their own autonomy, their own intuition, their own frequency, that these individuals are going through rapid jumps, rapid leaps. And what I feel is coming through what they're saying now is that as this is taking place, there are some that are, and there are some that are not. And therefore, this is causing a divide. Now, in some cases, this divide will continue. That is just, I feel like, the truth of the frequency that's coming through. That said, I feel like they're also saying, if you are not sure, there's no need to make any rash decisions quite yet. Because what I'm feeling is that for some relationships, that as long as you can go through holding of your own, and I feel like those that are experiencing this are doing so because they're meant to, there's something in which your soul is learning and being in this disharmony of connection, and that it's teaching you, but it wants to fully and that comes in the energy of the 42 that I talked in, completing the cycle. That some of you are in these positions and you may want it to just be quickly over, or you may want it to go back to what it was, and it's not going to do that. And because some are such quickly jumping, that it is causing a quick shift or sudden shift in relationship dynamics. Some, you will know that the time is done. It will feel complete to you. Others, you may feel like, oh gosh, what am I doing with this? But the cycle is not yet complete. There is something in which you are learning or experiencing through this. And so I feel like, all right, I'm asking a question to the Arcturians. For those in this circumstance in which the dynamic feels off, what would be your guidance, and how you would feel, how the individual would feel the difference into the scenario? Okay, they're cutting me off. You'll just know. So if you are in relationships right now where you feel like this is done, and this feeling is not shifting, that is your answer. If you find yourself pondering, perplexed, reflecting, questioning, this is the energy wanting to teach and share things with you. Okay. And I feel like they're saying this too because when we're talking about full moon, essentially a full moon is you have the sun and you have the moon in opposition in two different poles in your astrology chart. Now, depending on where you have Aries, where the sun is, and Libra, where the moon is, whatever house this is in will make an impact or a difference in how you're feeling this energy. Now, if you're not familiar with this, I can leave a link for a PDF that I recently created. It's not specifically for the purpose of the houses, but it's very detailed. It has lots of information on the houses. It is a PDF in which I channeled a download where my guide showed me how you can look at your astrology chart to really understand what magic you're here to unlock. So that it's a great tool. And also in this case too, since I'm bringing up the houses, this is a quick resource I can give you to access. It's free. So download that if you're not familiar with how to pull your chart, or where your houses is, because this PDF, that's the first thing it covers. Okay. And it talks about what each of the houses are. And then you'll get some neat information about your unique magic in that. But my point is that depending on where Aries and Libra are for you is going to depend on what the theme of the energy is. And however, also collectively, we can look at this as Aries is the I am. It normally rules in astrology the first house, which is the beginning. It's the start. It is the individual, where Libra is the house of the seventh house or the other. It is others. So this is where we have our relationship dynamic, especially in committed relationships, really close relationships, and partnerships. So generally speaking, collectively, anytime we have Aries and Libra dynamic, you're going to have some reflection in relationship, which is why I feel like this is coming through right now. And with this coming full moon in Libra, which is balance and relationships and energy exchange between individuals, whether that's partnership, business, friendship, anything along that lines. Okay, so I feel like the reason why they're bringing it up, again, I'm hearing they're reminding me of the 42 and the energy of the 42 in human design, as I mentioned in the beginning, is the potential to growth. This is the potential to increase, move forward, see progress. Okay. This energy, however, like I said, on the shadow end is not letting go, not wanting to end the cycle. If you've been stuck in a situation and you feel like it's done, it's over, but you're rationalizing staying, this you're probably going to feel this energy amplified this week with this moon. Also, if you're in a situation in which you are being invited to news cycles and you've had difficulty with committing or seeing a cycle through, then yes, this is going to be inviting you to stay. Don't make hasty decisions to jump. If like I said, if you're still reflecting, be and pondering, it's possible for some of you that this is not yet completed its cycle, which is why they're telling me that this is coming up right now. And the reason, the deeper layer, this is what I'm hearing. The deeper layer of why this is relevant is because the energy in which you surround yourself moving forward in this very monumental, they said, moment of transition is very relevant. Because what we're going to start seeing is we're going to start seeing energies of people flocking together or finding their soul tribe in ways, I'm hearing, in ways like you've never seen before. But right now, many are choosing their path still. Many are committing or making those final tweaks to this information. Therefore, we are seeing, yes, to some regard, a lot of division, but you are also starting to see people with common interests and common causes rise up together. And the purpose in which this is twofold, I'm hearing. One being that for moving forward in the time of evolution that the human race is going through, there will be a call. They don't want to use the word need. I was going to say need, but they said call for supportive frequencies to gather, meaning that there is a necessity in order to fully step into where we're going, to fully start evolving genetically. And when I'm talking about these things, I'm talking about, I actually have a video I can link that is coming to my mind that's talking about preparing for contact. And once again, how they're saying the exception will become the majority, meaning that the superhero vibes, the unexplainable, the magic, the mysterious, that is going to become more of the norm. To get there, what they're saying is there is a time now more than ever for joining together in complementary frequencies, meaning you are always on your path, I am on mine, but our journeys interlock together well. We support one another's path well. And that this is for some of the, I'm hearing, you would say unusual, yet we, meaning the Arcturian speaking, these are not unusual. But from what perceives to be unusual at this time to your species, the incredible things and capacity you have to step into these energies will be complementing, will be assisting. And you will see this within relationship dynamics first. And this will grow into larger and larger pockets of frequency. So people will be finding their soul tribe. So, what I feel like really strongly as I'm just feeling the summary of this, what I'm really feeling that they're saying is right now, and I also think that we have another, maybe it's like a new, I don't have it memorized. I think that there's an Aries moon coming up soon too. So it's, if you look at it, we're coming out of the North Node and South Node being in Libra and Aries. So really, this energy of Libra Aries has been so consistent lately, and this is both in relationships, but also, like I said, understanding the I, the me versus the exchange, the balance, these frequencies. So, but what I really feel like is coming through is I'm hearing that you are in a time in which decisions are being made, contracts are being finalized, things are coming to a close. People are going to stay, people are going to leave, if we are being blunt. Therefore, understand that while this can be challenging or different or sometimes complicated to choose to, as this, once again, this 42 energy is, let the cycle be done, that this is where we're going. I feel prompted to share a little bit of this story with you. In the last year, so I am an Aries and I'm a Libra rising. So this energy has been consistent. Just, I feel prompted to share this with you. So I experienced a spontaneous awakening during an eclipse, during which I went through years of a healing process to where I began to come into myself, be comfortable in being seen, and moving forward in the direction I was moving forward. Now, through this awakening process, as many who have been through an awakening experience may also have experienced, that anytime our energy shifts, it is sort of a recalibration or a renegotiation. I use that word, phase, in our connections and our relationships, meaning that the frequency in which we held served a purpose with certain relationships. As we significantly shift that, then these relationships no longer serve whatever particular purpose they are. This is neither good or bad. This shouldn't be taken personal, although I know that that sounds very detached and complicated as a human to say, but it is the nature of the frequency. We understand that the relationships and the people we draw into our lives, we do so for a particular purpose or experience we want to have. I wouldn't use the word lesson. I would say experience, how our soul wishes to evolve and grow. Therefore, as I awakened, things shift. People fell away. Okay. While I was doing this, there became a very drastic contrast between myself and the relationship, the marriage I was in at the time. I continued on my path. I could not control their path. It just so happened, I thought perhaps the energies would shift or realign. They ultimately did not. Last year, after the Aries solar eclipse, I realized that, like this energy of 42, that cycle was complete. And in choosing the very difficult decision to Trust that, because it was a long relationship of over 20 years. So when I share these things, I don't share them lightly. I don't share them without understanding the deep layers tangled within this dynamic. But the truth is, I've seen multiple relationships begin to shift. I've seen some stay, some not, but this is what I feel like they're saying. This is where we collectively are. There is a massive shifting and rearranging. And what I feel like is wanting to come through and be understood is this. And I feel like they're taking my energy down again now. And I'm feeling their energy of nurturing come up. And I feel like what they're wanting to convey and share is it's this frequency of being held. And I feel like they're saying, we understand. We know that this is hard. We know that there are so many of you sitting in what feels like the unknown right now. So many not knowing what the outcome will be. You're still in the cycle, and that's okay. But it's hard, and we understand. And there are so many of you that know, you know the cycle is over. And it's hard to take that forward step. It's hard to acknowledge, to move forward. But this energy is for growth. And while it might not seem like it now, it is for your greater good. It is for forward motion. It is for new, vibrant, better aligned connection and frequency. Some of you are coming out of stagnant energy. Some of you are coming out of dysfunctional or limiting energy. But collectively, we're all sort of in this soup as people are sort of scrambling. I'm sort of seeing this visual they're showing me of, I live in Florida. We have anthills. I don't know if that's something a lot, like, I don't know. I assume a lot of the US experiences anthills. I don't know if other places have anthills. So if you're listening and you don't know, but I'm sure you know to some regard. Anyways, I'm getting in my head. I do that sometimes. So they're showing me this visual of an anthill. And when you accidentally hit or kick an anthill, the ants just everywhere. That is where we're at. That is exactly where we are at. It feels chaotic. It feels confusing. And not only are you individually experiencing it, but collectively we are experiencing it as everybody is sort of scrambling. Where am I going? What am I? It's like go time for decisions. And some of us are procrastinators and we're waiting to the last minute, but we're all restructuring and rearranging. And this means that there is a lot of, as I said, energetic renegotiations to how we are each choosing to move forward, and the importance in the softness that this is okay, the encouragement that this is for a greater good, and that beautiful things are on the other side. I can say, for example, I gave you my, not so fun story. The flip side of that is I have seen the energy shift in my connections. I've experienced incredible connections and felt energies and realized that I've experienced things that in all of my life, which I just celebrated my birthday yesterday, I'm 45, I never experienced. I never knew. And that's beautiful and that's hard because it can be uncomfortable, because it's like you're experiencing this and you realize my God, this is something that feels so supportive, but I've never had it. I've never experienced it. And it's just, there's this, oh, see, even talking about it, it just pulls at my heart because it's beautiful, but it's hard, because there's almost like a celebration and a grieving process with it. So it's not easy. Even the pride of it being beautiful, even that, it takes adjustment. It's wonderful and magical, but it takes adjustment. So, wow, they definitely talked a lot about relationships. I was not expecting that. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. Okay. Let me just tune in and see if there's anything else that wants to come through. No, that is all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much to the Arcturians for sharing this beautiful energy. If you can, I just again want to ask you to stop for a moment. And I feel that they want to continue to share their energy for a moment. I just invite you to close your eyes, take a couple more breaths. I know I've told you to say that. I've told you that a couple times in this video, but it feels important. Oh, my ears are ringing. Yes, it's important. Take a couple breaths, hold yourself, feel the Arcturians' energy. Part of what they love is helping assist humanity in regulating their emotional response. So it makes sense that they're feeling the challenge, they're feeling the difficulty that some of you may be navigating. You may just feel a warmth or a soft hug in this exchange right now. Just one last big breath. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. All right. In closing, thank you again to the Arcturians for sharing this information. Beautiful. And thank you. Thank you to those who are watching this. If you do resonate with the message that came through this week, you are not alone. You are not alone. And, if you need to reach out to someone, leave me a comment or reach out. And also, sometimes you just never know. Sometimes you may be watching this video weeks later and this is the exact time that you need this message. That's the beautiful nature of our quantum reality at the time that you need this message. So, thank you so much for listening. If you are curious to learn more about your chart, like I said, check out that PDF. I'll actually put that in the comments. I'll pin a comment for you to download that so you can have quick, easy access to that. And I invite you to, if my energy resonates, follow along, subscribe, stay in tune, come back. I do this every Tuesday. And, if you have questions, reach out, send me a question. I can ask it next week when I connect. So, thank you for listening. Feel free to like or share this video. I'm so grateful for you. Please have a beautiful week. Hang in there. It's all for positive, beautiful, beautiful forward motion. Bye.